Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
When it's all on the line, you turn to the strong, the stable, the unwavering. To those with a history of raising their performance to meet the moment. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
I think we have the college basketball title futures. UConn's #1.
I really like Houston. I'd have them winning it all, but you can't be giving Drake jerseys. What is wrong with you?
Maybe the Drake curse is stronger in college basketball.
How long has he been riding with Kentucky?
He wore an Alabama jersey and Saban retired.
The Odds Couple with Rob Fisher, Lang Whitaker, John Roser, and CJ Hurt live Thursdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle right there producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you weren't holding out hopes that you'd be the next Lakers coach, because
I wasn't.
It feels like the Lakers have a new head coach. That's what the reports are suggesting. Bennett, you were closer to it than you thought. You're a podcaster.
Oh, wow.
They hired a podcaster.
When you put it like that.
You were closer to getting this job than you think. You might have thought, hey, I'm just a podcaster. I couldn't possibly be the Lakers' next head coach, but you'd have been wrong because the Lakers are reportedly hiring a podcaster.
Nice.
We'll get into it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. The next segment, about 20 minutes, Mike Wallace going to join me, senior editor, Grind City Media. I'll talk all things NBA with him. Finals get started tomorrow. Can't wait for that. Mike Wallace will be in the studio. We'll do that in about 20. When I finish talking to Mike, I'll take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, Angel Reese got ejected from last night's Chicago Sky game. Double tech. Bad job by the official, I think. You got to let her shoo you off if she wants to. She wants to wave you off. She can wave you off.
I think so, too.
You know, it ain't like she hip-checked anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm on Angel Reese's side today. We'll show it to you in about 40 minutes. John Calipari continues to rebuild the Arkansas program. He got a commitment last night. He's learned Trevin Brazile back to campus. He's the one player who played for Eric Musselman in Arkansas, who has said he's going to play for John Calipari at Arkansas. I'll tell you where I got the Razorbacks ranked in the top 25 and 1. We'll do that in just a bit. Lady Gaga has denied that she's pregnant.
Okay.
Had to do that publicly. So, you know, we're not going to have a little Gaga enter this world in 2024. It doesn't feel like. Not unless, you know, she gets busy real quick. That's bad news. I was looking forward to maybe having a little Gaga to go with our Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Should we really be making famous people or anybody deny that they're pregnant? I mean, Lady Gaga basically had to announce to the world, I'm not pregnant, I'm just fat. That's not fun.
I don't think she's fat.
I don't either. I hope it didn't sound that way because I don't either.
No.
I'm just saying it feels like we shouldn't make people do that.
I think you're right.
You should be able to put on 10 pounds without having to announce to the world that you're not pregnant,
think
right?
That's fair.
I don't think we did Lady Gaga right in this one. That's a rough situation. We'll go through the details here in just a bit. The dude who helped Jontay Porter get banned from the NBA for gambling.
Oh, boy.
He got arrested yesterday at GFK. He's trying to flee the country.
Oh, I saw that.
He's
He's trying to go to Australia.
He's trying to go to Australia like Diddy.
Couldn't make it.
Couldn't make it. His plan did not go well. They stopped him, and now he's in custody. I'll give you more details about that a little later on in the show. And Novak Djokovic, the Joker, he's had to withdraw from the French Open. He's got a knee injury. Surgery is on the way. Wimbledon is in doubt. Everybody in sports is hurt. You know,
It seems like it, dude.
if it ain't Joel Embiid, it's Novak Djokovic.
Yeah.
I'll get you updated on the tennis situation. We'll do that during 5 more things you need to know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carry out and we'll call it a day. So that's the rundown. We got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with the NBA because one day before the 2024 finals get started, it appears we now know who is going to be LeBron James' next coach in Los Angeles. The answer, it's JJ Reddick.
Okay.
They're doing it, Bennett. They're hiring a podcaster.
It's just, okay, first off, that is hilarious that they are hiring a podcaster to be there. It's the most 2024 thing that could possibly happen to an NBA coaching search.
They should have hired Joe Rogan.
I know they shouldn't have.
They should have hired Alex Cooper.
Well, that'd do numbers. That actually might work. Joe Rogan would do numbers too, in fairness.
I mean, in fairness, whatever you think of Joe Rogan, he does numbers.
Yeah, he does numbers.
You know, we don't have to lie about that.
Yeah. No, this is hilarious.
I would have hired Alex Cooper.
Okay, my thing is the funny part about it is I know Vernon is going to just be all over the state because it never fails. Like, and I love LeBron, man, but when it is time for a big NBA moment, buddy, he is inserting himself in the conversation every single time. The NBA Finals about to start. Hold up, here's some LeBron news.
Hold up, it's Eastern Conference playoffs, and I'm already out. Can you get me a front row seat in Cleveland?
Yep.
Me and Savannah are going to Cleveland.
It never fails. Like, when I saw this today, I was like, of course there's a LeBron James story the day before the finals.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But also, like, can we say, or let me ask you, it's hilarious in the sense that when I frame it the way that I'm framing it, it's just funny. The Lakers are hiring a podcaster. They could have hired Joe Rogan or Alex Cooper, but they went with JJ Reddick. Ha, ha, ha. Is it hilarious, though, that they're doing this? Are you convinced this is going to be ridiculous?
I don't know if it's going to be ridiculous. He has zero coaching experience. Like, okay, to make it local, like when the Tigers hired Penny Hardaway, at least Penny Hardaway had coached like high school basketball, you know, and AAU. Like JJ Reddick is not coached.
I mean, he's done like some youth basketball stuff.
Okay,
but
fine.
But that's you know, like that's like I've done youth baseball. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so people will say the one that gets pointed to a lot today is, well, Steve Kerr. Look at him. He's won multiple championships. Right. He didn't coach high level basketball. He was part of a front office, though, and so you're part of the day-to-day of just how an NBA organization works. I think that's a little bit different than just literally taking a guy that's never done this before, besides being on NBA rosters and making him the head coach of a team. So we'll see. I think that because he has the LeBron stamp of approval, that it'll be okay to start. But we'll see. I mean, how much longer does LeBron even have? Like, you know, what happens after that?
People keep throwing around the name Pat Riley. I've heard Pat Riley, hashtag Pat Riley.
Yeah.
They say JJ Reddick. He strikes me as a Pat Riley. Hey, who was Pat Riley before he was Pat Riley?
Well, that's true.
He was at least an assistant coach. He was at least that.
Right.
And was around. But similarly, you know, with the Pat Riley situation, that didn't make any sense on a surface level. I mean, if you watch the HBO series on the Showtime Lakers, or if you've read a book, oh my guy. Academy Award winner. Oh, God, who played Pat Riley?
Not John C. Reilly played Jerry Buss, right?
Who played Pat? We all know him. I can see him right now.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Why can't I think of his name?
Adrian Brody.
Oh, Adrian Brody was Pat Riley. Who the hell did the other guy play? Okay, whatever.
Yeah,
Anyways.
Adrian Brody played Pat Riley. But if you watch that, which I enjoyed.
It was good. I didn't see all of it, but I saw some.
Rest in peace to that series. I enjoyed it. it wasn't a sensible thing to do on a surface level. But among the reasons that got done, it's because Magic Johnson said, I believe in this guy.
Well, there you go.
Magic Johnson said, and then keep in mind, I mean, like, you know, Dr. Buss is no longer with us. Rest in peace to Dr. Buss.
Mm-hmm.
But same family. It's not crazy to think, you know, the same line of thinking could be in play. Once upon a time, Magic Johnson said, I believe in this guy. I think he can do this. I know this guy.
Yep.
I've talked to this guy. I've spent time with this guy. I'm telling you, this guy can do this. They said, okay. And the rest, as they say, is history. LeBron James clearly believes in JJ Reddick.
Right.
You don't jump on a podcast with somebody you don't think is your equal, that you don't think is as smart as you. You don't think is as basketball brilliant as you, right? Yeah. So that it starts there. And I know that all the reports are that LeBron stayed out of this thing, but just trust me when I tell you, whether he ever like dialed a number and said, hey, this is the king. I would like to talk to you about our coaching search. They know what he thinks. They know who he likes, who he doesn't like. And if they didn't know, and here's the other thing, like LeBron always catches hell for this. Like, you know, oh, LeBron's running things. He should have his fingers on everything. He is arguably the greatest player in the history of the game, undeniably one of the greatest players in the history of the game. He is still operating like one of the greats in the NBA, not at his peak, not as the best player in the world, but he's still one of the best players in the world. Mm-hmm. They should care about who he likes and who he doesn't like and what he wants and what he doesn't want. And so if they are factoring that into this, that's not insane to me. Like that's happened a million times in the history of the NBA. And so this is the one sport where we can all laugh about it and make our jokes and find clips from the podcast and, oh, it's going to be funny when, you know, things don't go well, if they don't go well. Mm-hmm. But this is the one sport where stuff like this has worked before, you know?
That's true.
Stuff like this has worked before. You know, it's not one of those things where you can point to it and go, nothing like this works ever. So what are you doing? Or even things like this rarely work. So what are you doing? There are multiple examples of guys being hired before the rest of the world thought they were ready to do the job they were hired to do. And it doesn't always work out, obviously, because nothing always works out. You could hire somebody who's been a 5-time head coach, and it might not work out. Mm. You could hire somebody who's been an NBA assistant for 15 years, and it might not work out. I mean, we've had a coach here in Memphis once upon a time who was considered one of the brightest assistant coaches in the sport, Mark Averoni.
That's right.
Made him a head coach, and it was like, okay, well, this thing's not going to work. That didn't work so well. So it doesn't matter what type of candidate you're looking for. You want head coaching experience. You want a long-time assistant. You want somebody from a franchise that's been winning a lot. You want somebody who's worked under a Hall of Fame coach. Like whatever it is you are looking for, I can find you an example of a guy who's worked. Oh, man, that worked really well. Mm-hmm. Or one that just didn't. It ultimately comes down to the person. Like, is the person capable of doing the job? One of the beliefs I've long held about basketball coaches, I guess you could probably say this about any kind of coach, any kind of leader of people, maybe like as broad as that, any type of leader of people. Mm-hmm. But the good ones are good, and the great ones are great, and the bad ones are bad. And the path they take to get wherever they're at rarely matters.
Yeah.
Like you, under normal circumstances, would never hire, you know, a 29-year-old John Calipari to run a Division I men's basketball program. I mean, think about that for a second. Mm-hmm. And I forget whether John was 29 or 30, but it was in that range, very young. Like, think about how young that is.
Right.
Think about if you heard there was that type of person being hired for a, you know, Division I men's basketball job, you'd be like, whoa, what's going on? Except crazy. Somebody recognized something in him and said this person is capable. Mm-hmm. Rick Pitino was hired at a very young age. Billy Donovan was hired at a very young age. Steve Kerr was hired without coaching experience. In every one of these cases, somebody recognized something in them and said, if I were just making this decision off of a Wikipedia page, this makes no sense whatsoever. The part of the Wikipedia page where I'm supposed to be looking at accomplishments and experience, there ain't nothing there as it pertains to the job I'm evaluating this person for. But I've been around this person. I've talked to this person. I've talked to people who know this person better than I. I think this can work. Like, that's something that actually happens in basketball coaching searches all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't always work, but I'm giving you examples of times when it did. I'll give you one. College basketball from earlier this year. Jake Diebler. He's the new head coach at Ohio State. You probably didn't even know that. He was on Chris Holtman's staff, just an assistant coach. They fired Chris Holtman at Ohio State on Valentine's Day this past year. That's tough Valentine's Day.
That's really tough.
I mean, we've all had our tough Valentine's Day, I guess.
Yeah, everybody has. Yep.
Everybody. I mean, you ain't lived if you ain't had a tough Valentine's Day.
Right.
But that's a tough one to lose your job.
Yes.
Although, like a big multi-million-dollar buyout probably makes it a little better.
You can get some chocolate still.
No question.
Yep.
But he just swing by Walgreens. They always got them chocolates ready for you.
Yep.
Ain't nothing sadder than swinging by Walgreens on Valentine's Day.
No, there's nothing.
A bunch of scumbags in there.
Yeah.
If you're waiting around till Valentine, I mean, we've all been there. We've all been there, looking for like a
Whitman sampler.
Yeah. And then like you walk down that other aisle, and it's like, wonder if my wife would like a back massager from Walgreens for Valentine's Day.
Yep.
You wait till the last minute. That's where you end up.
Sorry, honey.
Sorry, honey. We'll do better next year. I guess that's what we always say, right?
Yeah.
We'll do better next year. So there's when it comes to stuff like this, I'll bottom line it this way, then we'll get Mike Wallace in here. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm not certain that it won't. He's clearly an impressive guy.
Yeah.
All right? He spent a long time in the NBA.
He's a great basketball mind. We've seen it, on TV for years now.
One doesn't necessarily equate to the other, but he's been incredibly successful at everything he's tried. I take note of that with people. When I see somebody and I go, well, everything they try to do, they're good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that is just a unique talent. He really might be that.
Yeah.
He might be that. I don't know. I don't know the guy at all. I've met him a couple of times. I don't know him at all. But to go from player to media talent who rose straight to the top of the genre he's in. I want to be a basketball analyst. He went straight to the top of that. He'll be calling the NBA Finals tomorrow night.
Right.
That happened very quickly. He didn't have to put in the work.
No.
The way a lot of people put in the work. It happened very quickly for him. Here's this guy. He now works for us. Wow, he's impressive. Let's take him straight to the top. That just happened. All right? LeBron James recognized something in him that made him say, let's sit down and talk about basketball on video and call it a podcast. All right? The Lakers, you can say they're doing this only because of LeBron James, and I would just counter with, I don't think that's true. Because though I do believe LeBron probably has some influence, because why wouldn't he? The truth is the Lakers in recent years have done a lot of things, or rather haven't done a lot of things that LeBron James wants them to do. Trade all our picks. Get me veteran help. They haven't done it. He jumps on social media, complains about it, cryptically, but still. So it's not like every time LeBron James says do this thing, they do that thing. They haven't. They haven't traded for who he wanted them to trade for. They haven't drafted who he wanted them to draft. They haven't moved picks when he wanted them to move picks. They haven't just done everything he snaps his finger and says do it. So that's why I don't think it's accurate to connect dots like they're only doing this because of LeBron. LeBron might have put JJ Reddick on their radar. Like JJ Reddick might be a candidate, like somebody we need to talk to because, man, we know LeBron really likes this guy. But at some point, he had to get in front of these people. And he had to convince them, I can do this. I'm the right guy for this job. And he did that too. So think about that. Here's a guy who has a long, successful NBA career after being an incredible college basketball player, national player of the year, gets into the media industry and rises straight to the top. Thinks he might want to get into coaching, and he might be the Lakers coach. Like, right from the jump.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't have to go be the coach in Charlotte, although I know that he was involved in that one. He's going straight to the top. There ain't no bigger franchise than the one in Los Angeles, that one. So I've always been impressed by people who succeed in whatever they do, and I never count those type of people out. I said similar things about Andy Enfield when he got the USC job. A lot of people said things like and wrote things like, this guy just had 2 good weeks as a basketball coach, and now you're giving him a Pac-12 job? What are we doing? And I didn't really know much about him, but when I started reading about him and talking to people about him, I was just like, man, this guy, everything he's ever tried to do has worked. Everything. This guy's never failed. He's in his 40s, and he's never failed at anything. He's had a pretty diverse career, never failed at anything. Worked in business, was excellent at it. Worked in basketball, excellent at it. Everything this guy does seems to go well. I'm not going to rule out that this could go well. JJ Reddick might be a similar deal. I'll see what Mike Wallace thinks next.
If you look at it as far as the number 9 pick over the years, there's been some pretty good players that have surfaced at number 9. Of course, Dirk Nowitzki, who won a championship. There's been a lot of great guys, but who knows if there is a great guy in this draft.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Heart Royal Flush Tour 2024. November 14th, FedEx Forum. A journey through the hits and timeless classics. The iconic band returns with special guests. Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Tickets on sale now at heart-music.com. Heart with Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Evening. Produced by AEG Presents.
Now for a limited time, the new $1.99 crispy tender wraps are here at Sonic. Who could deny a crispy chicken tender with bold flavors like hickory barbecue and cheesy Baja? And we can't forget the crisp lettuce and melty cheese to make the perfect bite. Wrap yourself up with some TLC, tender, love, and chicken for only $1.99. Sonic $1.99 crispy tender wraps. Tax not included, limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
36.5 vertical?
Watch your head.
Yeah, you said it was 44.
Well, you sure I said that?
36 and a half.
36 and a half is big.
36 and a half. I've got bench press here.
18 times.
17.
Okay.
You always have to put a little barbecue
It's all barbecue sauce. Yeah. Barbecue sauce on the wings.
The Chris Vernon Show, presented by Caesars Sportsbook, live weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. We have another edition. This will be the 3rd edition of the Debate Club. You guys are going to sell a shoe to Mr. Bennett Doyle, our producer over here.
Oh, yeah.
I saw these.
I've seen these.
I saw these on social media too.
It's the perfect house shoe.
I know, right?
Like, yeah, it's not even a house shoe. I bet you they're really comfortable. You know, you heard of unisex. This is unifoot. Oh, my God.
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. It's Wednesday. It's the 2nd segment. That means Mike Wallace is here, senior editor, Grind City Media. I appreciate you. How you been?
Hey, I've been great, man. Back from vacation. Felt good.
How was vacation?
It was wonderful, man. 7 days in the Grand Resort Palace in Cancun. I had a chance to go to Tulum. Had a chance to do Rio Secreto. We went in the caves. Did a little deep dive in the cave. We were, I think, 70 feet below ground, in a water. Like it was beautiful, man. It was hot as hell, and it was cool as hell too.
I love Mexico.
Yeah.
Every time I've ever been, I just have a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know the common thing for people from here to do is like drive to Florida, drive to Destin, drive to whatever, seaside.
Yep.
I would much rather just jump on a plane and go to Mexico and just sit in one of those resorts and never leave the resort.
That's yes. I'm with you on that. And this is someone who lived in Florida for 14 of his you know, kids 18. Like I've been in Florida for a long time, all over Florida. I've been to every beach that you can get to in Florida, man, and I love it. But you're right, though, man. There's certain things about Mexico and some areas of the Caribbean that you just can't replace.
Right.
Man. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time.
Yes,
I'm glad you're
yes.
back. Big NBA headline from the past 24 hours. Reportedly, JJ Reddick is the overwhelming favorite to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. The reports are that probably won't announce it until after the finals, so that to not overshadow the finals. And B, you know, JJ Reddick's got a job to do. He's calling the NBA finals for ABC. This is going to get a lot of laughs because it's easy to laugh at. It's LeBron James' podcast buddy. It's a guy who's never coached at any real level of basketball. I know somebody will say, well, you know, he coached 10-year-olds one time, but it's not the same. I mean, I've coached 10-year-olds before. It's not the same. It's easy to laugh at. This is a sport. This is a league where stuff like this has worked before. Do you think this could actually, we look up in, say, January and go, man, they got this right, and look at the Lakers. They're real contenders now.
I mean, they were in the Western Conference Finals a year ago with Darvin Ham, who they just cast aside. So to me, coaching won't make that great of a difference. It's roster construction, it's health of the roster. I think they would have got a lot further in the playoffs had they had, you know, their players, Vanderbilt and Gabe Vincent healthy, right? Those are two great players to add to that rotation. I don't want to dismiss Reddick, but because I saw Steve Kerr walk into a similar situation and excel. You know, I've seen different guys, you know, walk into those situations and do a great job. But to me, this reeks of the Lakers always swinging for relevance as opposed to rings at this point. And that wasn't what the franchise was built on. Like, this is Jeannie Buss and the Lakers ownership and front office always acquiescing to their star player or their star player's agent's demands. It happened. Like, people say Rich Paul and LeBron are running the Lakers. Well, guess what? Kobe Bryant and Rob Pelinka did too. Right? Look at where Rob Pelinka is right now. You know what I mean? So that doesn't surprise me. I don't think that this is going to put them over the top. But you know, I don't want to hate on JJ Reddick. I know he's a brilliant basketball mind. If he's smart, he's going to tap into Mike Krzyzewski for advice and maybe senior advisor type role. If he can, he's going to surround himself with a brilliant staff. And if he could do that, then maybe we'll see how he goes forward from there.
You touched on something there that I think we've talked about before. Just listen, I would never go so far as to say there aren't excellent coaches, because there clearly are. Spo it seems to be at the tip top of everything. Pop for years. In the middle, if we could agree that there's a handful of coaches at the top who are excellent and difference makers, and then there's a few at the bottom that are like, they shouldn't even be having the jobs that they have. How much difference in the middle does coaching actually make in the NBA?
I think coaching can take you from a really poor team to a contender. Right? I think roster construction or front office can take you from a contender into a championship type team. And then once you get there, it's just about breaks. I mean, it really is. It's just about what breaks you get, who's healthy, who's not healthy. Because I would not put, you know, Mazzulla in a list of the top 5 coaches in the NBA. But look at who couldn't get to where he's gotten to. I'm not saying he doesn't have an impact, but you know, I could also look at Popovich, and I'm like, you know, you have to be purposely trying to lose to be as bad as he's been the last few years. So to me, I think it does make a difference. I think it elevates, because I will say this. It took Phil Jackson's temperament to take that Chicago Bulls team with Jordan from Doug Collins and make him a champion because of how he had to relate to players and psyche. I think it took, you know, Mark Jackson had to step aside for Steve Kerr's mentality and more, you know, cerebral approach to help that Warriors team become who they are. I don't know if coaching, heavy-handed coaching, is going to make that much difference to put you over the top and from once you're already a title contender.
Well, Mazzulla is a wonderful example of something similar to what we're talking about. On a surface level, he makes no sense as the head coach of the Boston Celtics. Keep in mind, it wasn't like he was this hot coaching candidate who was turning down one job after another, or the obvious pick to be the next head coach of the Celtics. He only got the job because his boss got in trouble. And it was like, the season's about to start. What are we going to do? And they just say, I guess let's see how it goes. And now he is like favored to be a championship coach.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
So, there's a guy who nobody thought of as the next great thing or anything.
No.
But, like, you just hand him a team that's ready to go, and here they are.
And here they are. And if he doesn't win it, I think he's going to be in trouble.
Right.
Right. So he's going to be the first one that has to take, the fall if that happens. He also jumped over 2 or 3 other more experienced guys that were on Udoka's staff at that time, right? So it's one of those things where Missoula wasn't even on the front bench.
Right.
He was a backbench guy that moved to the front from that standpoint.
But that's another example then of somebody recognizing, all right, this isn't the obvious guy to move up, but there's something special here.
Yes.
Like, I identify it.
Yes.
Now let's do this.
And this was Brad Stevens saying, all right, I'm not ready to go back into this Lions Den yet. I can still help this team as best I can from this level. Let me figure out who I can communicate with best, who has the least resistance in terms of what we got to do, and let me put him in there to sort of manage it. And that's what he's done. He's managed them as well as he can. I don't think he handles the media as savvy as I would, or a lot of other coaches would. But I think he's fine. If they win it, he'll get a ring. He'll be fine as a championship coach, and then we'll see where it goes from there.
You mentioned Brad Stevens. I'm getting a little off topic here.
No,
but, like, do you every once in a while I'll see somebody tweet something like, the best basketball coach in the world isn't even coaching basketball. And then they'll put a picture of Brad Stevens up. And I don't know whether that's true or not. I'm not here to debate that. Do you think he'll coach again?
No.
You think he's done?
No. Because I think when you make that kind of move, and it was like, I remember Steve Kerr having a conversation with him for an interview I did years ago. And he was like, when I wanted to continue in basketball at a very high level. And my first foray was in the front office running a team. That wasn't my talent. That wasn't where I can communicate and get the best out of players. I had to go to the bench. Some guys are doing the opposite. Brad Stevens did it the opposite way. This is a different level of player that he has to deal with from coaching versus when he was in college. Can he put the puzzle pieces together better? Yes. I think he's smart. He's a tactician. But I don't think he's best suited to be that kind of coach in the NBA. Who knows what'll happen from that standpoint. But again, I don't know if, for instance, we talk about Calipari all the time. I don't know if John could be a great executive. He has to be able to have the relationships with the players that he expects to go out there with. So I think some people are built more for that, and some people are built for this. And I think very few people can do both of them in such a great way. There are very few people who can do both in a great way. But I don't think Brad will. If he wins, why leave that situation in Boston?
Game 1 NBA Finals is tomorrow night.
Yeah.
The Celtics are the favorite over the Mavericks, but most projections have this going 7 games. It's not the finals I expected because I didn't think the Mavericks would get here. But as we get close to it, like Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving on one side, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown on the other. I'm fired up. This is good.
It is. It's not the finals I predicted, but it's one that I can ride with and enjoy, right? And I don't know if I would have enjoyed it as much if it was Denver or Minnesota getting there more so than Dallas. Dallas gives us a polarizing nature of how to view this series with Luka and Kyrie. Those are players that you have to respect, but you can feel one way or the other about them in terms of emotionally. But I think this is going to be a series a lot closer than what I would have originally anticipated. I thought this was going to be a Boston coronation at the beginning of the playoffs. But I do think they're going to have to earn this because if Dallas takes one of these first 2, they're not going to just hand the series back to Boston. Boston's going to have to earn it. And now you're wondering, okay, the pressure's on Boston to close the deal as opposed to Dallas to do it. I think Dallas is playing with house money at this point. And you don't want Luka and Kyrie just to be free and doing everything they want to do, and all the pressure is on Boston. So that's what makes it compelling to me.
I continue to be impressed by the things that Kyrie Irving is saying leading into this series. I mean, he's going to catch hell tomorrow night, and perhaps deservedly so. But he's not fanning those flames at all. He is repeatedly this week taken responsibility for how things went in Boston poorly relative to expectations. He's expressed regret about some of the things he said and did. And I don't know, I guess 3 or 4 years ago, I could not have imagined saying what I'm about to say. I wouldn't mind seeing Kyrie Irving win a championship again. I couldn't imagine being on the verge of maybe rooting for Kyrie Irving. But I wouldn't mind seeing Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic get this thing done. How am I just in my own little world, or has he really flipped the narrative on himself?
I think he has in a dramatic way. You know what I mean? But I also think that when he was at what he would say when he was at his most unclear and most unstable was at a time where we were going through a global pandemic.
Yeah.
There was the vaccination. There was the I'm not going to play in the bubble. Right. There was the social justice unrest. And then there was the whole thing that he was dealing with when it came to some of the comments, the comments he made about anti-Semitism, right. When it came to that kind of documentary he wanted to retweet and put out there. He's also not in the fishbowl of New York City, right. the way Dallas is. Right. And I think that's helped him too, but he's also older now. He also knows that, okay, I have fewer years left ahead of me than I have behind me. And I think, he's always been a smart guy. He's sometimes just been too smart for his own good. But as a player, I root for him. I love the way he handles the ball. I love the way he's balanced. He's one of the most creative scorers that the league has ever seen. And, for him to do it alongside Luka, it's that Batman Robin type dynamic, man, and it's going to be fantastic to see. I know all the pressure is on Boston, but Kyrie going back into Boston, a situation where he could have won a championship with those guys, and he fell short of that. So I think there's going to be some quiet motivation in him to push it over the top.
LeBron James on his podcast was talking to JJ Reddick and said, like, I'm really enjoying watching Kyrie have this run, but I also am really frustrated that he's not my teammate anymore. That it seemed to imply that he left me the first time, but also that we've never been able to reconnect. There have been reports that the Lakers did aggressively
try to go get him.
To go get Kyrie
from
last
Brooklyn. Yep.
Yes, offering I think Russell Westbrook at the time, maybe multiple first round picks. Is that is that going to go down in history like Shaq and Kobe, or like Penny and Shaq, in the sense that, man, if these two would have ever just figured out how to stick together, they could have really done something more than what they did separate from each other.
That's I never thought about it like that, but now that you
mention
it
until LeBron said
but now
what he
that
said.
you mention it, you got to wonder. I instinctively say no, because I don't think they still would have gotten past the Warriors more than the one time that they did. And also their time, they were almost a decade separated. LeBron came to Cleveland in 2003. I think Kyrie came in, it had to be at least 6 years later.
It would have been 10, 11.
Yeah, almost a decade later. Right. So it was almost like they didn't come into it as a pairing like Kobe and Shaq got to LA the same year. Right. Penny and Shaq got to Orlando a year apart. So they kind of went through it all the way through together. You can almost say, you can say, LeBron did more with D Wade than he's done with Kyrie.
Sure.
And potentially Anthony Davis. So that one, I think, is more LeBron having revisionist history, and this is the guy in the moment right now, and I want to attach my name to him and be responsible for it. But at the end of the day, Kyrie is his own man at this point, and I think Kyrie being able to adapt to LeBron, he was begrudgingly doing it. He didn't want to be the little brother.
Right.
Now he's the older brother to Luka, even though he's the second player. So I think that's a little bit more of a balance that Kyrie can handle.
Last thing before I get you out of here, Luka Doncic spoke with the media yesterday. Mm-hmm. He was asked about his knee, about his ankle, and he said it's still basically where it was. On one hand, we just watched the guy be dominant in the Western Conference Finals. On the other hand, it was just 2 weeks ago we were talking about, man, he's banged up.
Yeah.
What do we expect from him health-wise in the NBA Finals?
You're right, because in that Clippers series, you weren't sure which team was going to make it out of that, right? Because Kawhi had already fallen off to the side. Luka was leaning, looking like he wasn't going to make it. But now you got to judge Luka based on what you saw in the conference finals, right? So if he's that Luka, he's going to be a problem. The one thing I do see is that Boston has the ability to throw 4 different people at him, not stop him, but just give him 4 different looks.
Right.
Obviously, Tatum and Brown. But you can also – Drew Holiday and Derek White are bigger guards. Yeah. So they know how to defend and positionally in that situation. So if any one of them get in foul trouble, you just switch around and move the next one. I don't know if Dallas has the ability, even with Luka playing great, to have a counter the way that Boston will have counters to what Dallas can do. We'll see, man. I think it's going to be a great chess match. I trust Jason Kidd in the coaching matchup. I trust Boston's bench when it comes to the depth matchup. And then it's just going to be a matter, can Luka and Kyrie pull off this Herculean effort and make it a series?
So give me a prediction. It sounds like Celtics in what?
You know what? It's just from scratch for me, it's going to be Celtics in 6. But I would not be shocked if it's Dallas in 6.
Yeah.
It's a coin flip to me.
That's among the we're going to have a star player become a first-time champion, and the series seems very much up in the air.
Yep.
And
that's all you want.
That's all I want. It's good enough for me. I'm fired up. Game 1 tomorrow night. That's Mike Wallace, senior editor, Grind City Media. He's on X at my Mike Check. That's at my Mike Check. Appreciate you being here, buddy.
Hey, anytime, man.
All right. When we come back, John Calipari continues to build the Arkansas roster. He has added another player. It's a former Razorback who's going to be a future Razorback. I've got Arkansas now in the top 15 of the top 25 and one. Meantime, Angel Reese got ejected from last night's game. Double tech. I blame the ref. Seems like they came down from the league office. Maybe, hey, let's clean this thing up a little bit. But
interesting.
That seemed like a quick trigger. We'll show it to you next. Scary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South.
Let's talk about MVPs.
Let's do it. I went with the Joker.
Oh my God, Nikola freaking Jokic.
Every time I watch him play, I'm so impressed.
I'm obsessed with him.
Yeah.
Everything he does works. He can pass, he can shoot, he can rebound, he can drive, he can defend. Like, he can do everything.
He can lead the fast break, and he's like 7-1.
IMHO with Lang Whitaker and me, Kelsey Wright Johnson, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
If you look at it, as far as the number 9 pick over the years, there's been some pretty good players that have surfaced at number 9. Of course, Dirk Nowitzki, who won a championship. There's been a lot of great guys, but who knows if there is a great guy in this draft.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
JJ Jackson, I don't know if you know this, CJ, youngest player in the NBA, does not turn 20 until December of this year. He was the 45th pick in last year's draft. He becomes the first teenager, I believe, to be named to an all-rookie team without having been a first-round pick. Shout out JJ Jackson.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Hey Grizzlies fans, turn your stadium excitement into betting action at Southland Casino Hotel. As a proud sponsor of the Memphis Grizzlies, Southland brings you more gaming action than ever before. Step onto our massive casino floor stretching more than 2.5 football fields. Slot enthusiasts can enjoy more than 2,300 machines from penny slots to high limits and play the hottest games like Aristocrat, Dollar Storm, Cloverlink, and Lightning Cash. Table game aficionados can feel the thrill of the felt with 50 live table games. From 3-card to blackjack match, we're ready to deal you in. Plus, don't miss stadium gaming for an interactive digital experience. And for high rollers, our high limit room is calling your name. Go big on 6 high limit blackjack tables or spin one of our 54 high stakes slot machines. Throw in 8 delicious dining options and a 300-room high-rise hotel, and there's plenty to keep you going. At Southland Casino Hotel, the gaming excitement never stops.
Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
LifeCare Ambulance is proud to be an official partner of the Memphis Grizzlies and FedEx Forum. At LifeCare, they wear their hearts with pride. Their passion is their people. They want you to love what you do and where you do it. Their employee-driven culture encourages a healthy work-life balance and supportive work environment. They invest in your success and well-being so that you can provide the best care for the patients that they serve. Join the incredible team of EMTs and paramedics in Memphis, Nashville, and across the nation today. Learn more at lifecareamb.com.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either. That's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays and the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in, and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more. orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. And now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
Angel Reese got ejected from last night's Chicago
Yes, she
Stein
did.
game. Double tech. Did you see this?
I saw it.
Did you see this nonsense?
I saw it.
All right, let's watch this. Look at what Angel Reese got herself involved in.
Yeah, what's going on?
Night. Okay, so look at this. She says something to the official, and he says, that's a technical foul. And then she waves at him like, get out of here. She does the old get out of here. It's the universal sign for get out of here with that nonsense. She hits him with a get out of here. And he says, you get out of here. Double technical foul. Quick trigger. I think that's a quick trigger.
I think it's a quick trigger. I am pro being able to wave off the official.
You should be able to wave off
You should be able to wave off the official because the opposite of that would be getting in their face and being like, F you.
She really did the opposite of what
I think the wave off is.
The wave off.
Sure, you can get a tech. That's fine.
The wave off is like, hey, I disagree with you, but like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with this for right now.
And I think a tech there is weak anyways. But if you want to do one tech, fine.
Do one if you want to.
Yeah.
I don't know what she said. We don't know what she said. I ain't seen the lip readers get a hold of this one yet.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what she said. But let's give the official the benefit of the doubt. Let's say Angel Reese said something that if we knew exactly what it was, we would all agree, yeah, that's worthy of a technical foul.
Correct.
You can't say that. You can't say that under those circumstances. Let's say that she deserved that one. After that, she's clearly walking away in another direction, and she just does the whole get out of here. Just one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little wave off. I think that should be okay. I think then you know what you turn your back and you walk the other way.
Yep.
Sometimes you just got to be able to walk away, Bennett, from a situation.
These officials, man.
I don't like Angel Reese was doing what it is we tell people to do.
Mm-hmm.
Walk away from the situation.
That's right.
Like if I had a little daughter of my own, then wouldn't that be something?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to have a little daughter of my own. I mean, not at this point in my life.
Right.
But there was a point in my life where I'd been like, if you'd have asked me, not that I would trade any of my boys. I might.
Yeah.
I mean, depending on the day, I might.
Yeah.
Right? Depending on the day, I could. But, just in case they ever get a hold of this video, not that I would trade any of my boys, but there was a time in my life where I'd be like, man, I wouldn't mind having a daughter,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to be a girl dad,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
It never happened for me. That's a regret I'll have to live with for the rest of my life. Never happened for me. But here's the point. If I had a little daughter and I was trying to teach her right from wrong, raise her right like Kendrick Lamar, not like Drake. If I was trying to raise my child right like Kendrick Lamar does, not like Drake, you know what I would do? I would show the Angel Reese video. And I'd say, you see how Angel Reese right here? She is frustrated with this man. But rather than continue to fight with him and argue with him, you know what she did? She just walked away.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you should do. There's a lesson in there.
I think there's a lesson in there.
And instead, they hit Angel Reese with a second technical foul, and they threw her out of the game. There's been some suggestions that this is a direct result of all of the attention that the league is getting from over the weekend and everything that happened, that the league office has, on the low.
Tightened it up.
Got to tighten it up a little bit. We got to get this thing under control because
before the world sees that they're like beating each other up in these games and stuff. Dude, the WNBA, as someone who is like watching it way more now than I had previously, dude, they beat each other up, man. Like it is physical. Like it is not like the NBA. It is not like the NBA at all. The level of physicality in that league.
Like we didn't have Caitlin Clark last night. But we did have 3 WNBA games last night.
Yeah.
And, I had them on.
Yeah.
I turned on that Seattle. I was scrolling through Instagram yesterday, and I ran into a reel or a story.
Yeah.
I can't tell them apart.
Yeah.
Do you know the difference between a good reel and a good story?
I think a reel, the screen, the whole screen is the video.
I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to keep track of what's going on.
I don't know the difference.
I don't know.
I
Every
know.
once in a while, I'll think about posting something, and then it'll start asking me, do you want a reel or do you want a story?
I just do stories.
And then it'll say something about some music, and I just get overwhelmed, and I just shut it down. I just take my phone, and I turn it over. I can't even look at it.
Stupid Mercury let us down.
All right, so I'm looking at I'm looking at these reels. Oh, I rode with Seattle.
Oh, so you faded me?
But here's why.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going, I don't know whether it's a story or a reel. Who even knows these days?
Yeah.
Who even can tell the difference? And I see a story or a reel, and it's about Seattle and Phoenix. They got real beef. They
do have real beef.
Because Skylar Diggins used to play
with Taurasi.
Yeah, and they hate each other.
Yeah, they hate each other.
Does everybody in the WNBA hate each other?
I think there's some real beefs in that league, dude.
I'm starting to think everybody.
No, there's some real beefs in that league.
Everybody in the WNBA hates each other.
Yeah.
It's a wild situation. So I'm watching this thing, and they said, first off, Diana Taurasi and Skylar Diggins hate each other, all right? And it shows them almost fighting on a bench one time.
Yep.
And then it's like, then Skylar Diggins got pregnant, and, she's the one with the old, you heard her.
Oh, yeah. She said, the old thing. Yeah. She said she's got the old thing.
Right.
Yeah, I got it.
So anyway, she got pregnant. Congratulations.
Of course.
And they said Phoenix wouldn't even let her come back to the facility and, work out or nothing.
I saw that. That was a reel. I saw that reel. I saw that reel.
So by the time I watched that reel or that story, whichever one it was, I was fired up. I couldn't wait for 9 o'clock to get here last night.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched it too.
I couldn't wait. So
Mercury, damn.
So
Taurasi, you're a legend. Let's go. Dude, she had 7 points in that game last night. The game before she had 30 something. I was like, okay, we got this in the bag.
She's 41 years old, Bennett.
I know.
Like
That's
LeBron,
the
we're always sitting around talking about LeBron's 39. Taurasi's 41.
Okay, LeBron still gets double digits every game, no matter what, even his bad games.
LeBron better than Taurasi. That's what you're saying. I don't disagree.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, yeah.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. So anyway, I'm Team Angel Reese on this one.
Yeah, I'm Team Angel Reese too.
I don't think she's Caitlin Clark's co-star in this WNBA moment, but I also don't think she deserved that second technical last night.
I agree.
I don't I'm capable of evaluating every situation on its own merit. So I can be like, Angel Reese, you're saying a little wild stuff. I can be there yesterday, but then I can watch Angel Reese last night and I can say, Angel Reese, you deserve better. You deserve better than that. You didn't deserve to get removed from that game.
No, I completely agree. Oh, speaking of the Mercury, by the way, I believe Kelsey is having Mercury star Sophie Cunningham on her podcast.
Let's go.
Soon.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
be
go.
looking out for that. I think that drops in the next couple of days.
All right. Dig that. Congratulations to everybody who didn't get thrown out of a WNBA game last night. And shame on the official who did that to Angel Reese. She deserved better. She deserved better.
Number 2.
John Calipari got another player yesterday. It's Trevon Brazile. Might sound familiar. He played for Arkansas last season. He's the first and, at this point, only Razorback to announce that he is returning to Arkansas for next season. The first and perhaps only Razorback who will play for Eric Musselman and also for John Calipari. Arkansas right now, big bet, isn't it? They got 9 players. And I moved them up to number 13 in the top 25 and 1. John Calipari, it looks like in Fayetteville, in year 1, he's going to have a preseason top 15 team, one that could theoretically win the SEC, although at this point, Alabama is the favorite. If you're an Arkansas fan, and I know that you're not, but if you're an Arkansas fan, would you be fired up about this?
I'm kind of a
You're
low-key. I'm a low-key Razorbacks fan. Yeah. I've always liked the Hogs.
There's a part of you that's a Razorback.
You're
part Hog.
I'm part Hog. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Love the state.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were
got
part
family
Hog.
that like the Hogs. So yeah, I've always enjoyed the Hogs.
I like Arkansas myself.
Yeah, that's one of those that I've always, and again now with Cal, they're probably never going to happen. But I've always stood on that as a series Memphis should always be playing and Arkansas should always be playing, just because you get a lot of fans both sides, I think. But whatever, that's another thing. Was there ever any doubt that he was going to put together a top 15 team?
No.
In this era of college basketball and what he's able to do?
No, once he goes to Arkansas and it's clear that he has more or as much NIL money as anybody else, then it's just like John Calipari, arguably greatest recruiter of all time, with millions and millions of dollars to spend on players. I bet you he'll put together a nice roster. And he has. The question becomes, because this is what a Kentucky fan would tell you. Oh, wow, he's got a nice roster. Yeah, he had one last year too. And
he always does.
He always does. He's never not had a nice roster.
Right.
Like in the past 15 years at Kentucky, more often than not, he had a roster that was at least theoretically good enough, talented enough to win a national championship. And in those 15 years, he only won one. Hadn't been in the Final Four since 2015. Hadn't been to the Sweet 16 since 2019. So, oh yeah, the roster looks great. Yeah, he just had a roster with 2 projected lottery picks on it.
Right.
They lost to Oakland in the first round. So congratulations on your awesome roster, but we lived with that in Kentucky for 15 years. It doesn't always amount to much. That's what Kentucky fans would say. You know what Arkansas fans would say? Yeah, you might be making some good points, but we're in the top 15 and you're not. So we'll see how it goes. I think Kentucky fans make some, solid points, and Arkansas fans, like, if you're not excited about it, what's even the point of being a fan?
Yeah, I think, honestly, man, I think they're going to have a nice season.
I do too. I think they're going to be good. I think he's going to be
pressure being because again, when you get in it, I don't care what anyone says. When he gets in a tight game in Kentucky in Rupp Arena against an SEC opponent, like everything gets tight. I just feel like it's different being somewhere where the pressure is just not as ramped up as it is at Kentucky, and I think that's going to benefit them.
And I think there's something to be said for wanting to prove to Kentucky fans,
oh yeah,
you don't know how good you had it.
Mm-hmm.
It got a little sideways, and sure, I disappointed you, and undeniably we didn't take this thing where we wanted it to go as consistently as we should have in recent years. But you just ran me out of there, and I was a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament last year. Like, based on the math, the selection committee thought I had one of the 12 best teams in the country last year.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that Jack Golke knocked down 10 three-pointers on us. And I'm
Shout
sorry.
out Jack Golke. He was in here for a workout this week.
And there was somebody on my flight Sunday night from Los Angeles that was clearly coming here from a workout, and I forgot to figure out who it was. I didn't recognize them, but they had on, like, they looked the part.
Yeah.
They had on, like, NBA draft combine gear or whatever.
Right.
So if you're John, it's like, hey, I'm sorry that Jack Golke knocked down all those three-pointers on us and we lost to Oakland. But the selection committee did say I had a top 12 team in the country on Selection Sunday, and you guys ran me out of there. All right?
Right.
All right? Now watch this. I think it's awesome for John Calipari that he's in the same league as Kentucky, because it's a real motivator. He's going to have to deal – like, it's not like you're going to the other side of the country. Like, you moved, but you're still in the same league. You're still going to be, competing for the same conference championship. You're still going to have to play that team, your old school, every year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that helps motivate him, re-energize him. I think he's going to be good there. I think it's hard for Mark Pope, too, at Kentucky, because, like, this guy, this monster with this incredible legacy that you're trying to live up to, he's in your league.
That is
tough. And he
tough.
might give it to you for a year or two. He might give it to you consistently. Like, there's nothing that John Calipari did at Kentucky that he can't do at Arkansas, armed with NIL money, as it pertains to getting players
for sure,
and acquiring talent. So, like, whatever those rosters look like in Kentucky, that's what they're going to look like at Arkansas. Maybe a little more balanced in terms of not all freshmen, more transfers and whatever, but he's going to be armed with incredible rosters. And Kentucky, like, Mark Pope's doing fine there, and, like, they've got probably a top 35, 30 roster right now. But undeniably, since the moment both those men got those jobs, John has done better at getting players at Arkansas than Mark has done at getting Kentucky.
Right.
And if that translates to on-the-court success in year 1, year 2, year 3, whenever, then it just becomes harder to shake the John Calipari shadow when he's still coaching in your league and still maybe outdoing you in your own league. That becomes really complicated. But that's their problem. That ain't our problem, Bennett. No. It's not our problem. Congrats to Arkansas. They're now top 15, top 25 and 1.
Number 3.
Lady Gaga's not pregnant. We're not going to have a little Gaga coming into this world anytime soon. It doesn't appear.
I saw that.
So she went to her sister's wedding, which, you should. If your sister gets married, you should be there.
Be there, yeah.
You should be there. Goes to her sister's wedding. Paparazzi.
I saw the photos.
What do you think?
I think that I would never, ever, ever, ever assume that a woman's pregnant unless she says that she's pregnant.
Can't do it.
That's just a no-no. Yeah.
Isn't it mean that we see a picture of Lady Gaga and then actual media, like there's somebody in charge of publishing stuff on the internet
that's like, hey,
is Lady Gaga pregnant? Question mark.
Put the headline out.
And then it's just everywhere, so much so that Lady Gaga is compelled to jump on social media and just say, you see the post? I'm not pregnant, but if you're not registered to vote, here's a link. Just like, hey, let me address this and maybe try to do some good with it, whatever. But I don't like that we made Lady Gaga more or less announce to the world, I'm not pregnant, I just put on some weight, you weirdos. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think,
imagine if every time one of us, our weight fluctuated, we had to announce to the world we're not pregnant.
Right.
We're just fat. We just like chips and dip.
Yeah, I think rule of thumb, never assume a woman is pregnant.
Oh, buddy.
Never.
So the other day, we're at the fabulous Madonna Inn out there in California, right?
Yeah.
And it's colder in Central California than you would think.
Oh, yeah. I know how. I was out in Cali. I know.
It was chilly.
What's up. Yeah.
We were
It
chilly.
gets a little cold there sometimes.
But they did have, the heated pool outside in the mountains and, the hot tub.
Okay. Calm down.
And the hot tub.
Yeah.
And so there was one day, let's call it Friday. Let's call it Friday. We were sitting in the hot tub, me and my wife, and there was maybe 4 or 5 other women there. They were unconnected to our wedding party, but they were just there for a weekend getaway. They were dancers, and not those kind of dancers. They were like salsa dancers or something.
Oh, cool.
They danced in parades and stuff.
Yep.
Because like at some point somebody was like, so what y'all got going on? And they were like, we're dancers. And so they tell us that story. And so a bunch of dancers sitting in the hot tub. And there's this one woman, and she's bigger than the other ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know? But, like, that's okay.
Of course.
Somebody's got to be the biggest in every group. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But she's like, the rest of them look exactly like dancers. And this one doesn't really, she just looks like maybe a bigger dancer.
I got it.
All right? But this is going on. So it's something I noticed, but, it ain't nothing I'm going to bring up. I'm more of a listener than a talker in the hot tub. I don't really got much to say. I'm more of a listener than a talker in that setting. But I get up and I go to the bar because it seemed like, I was out of a drink. I needed another drink. So I walk to the bar, and when I come back, like the first thing I hear is my wife say, so when are you due? And my heart just sank. Keep in mind, I'd been gone for 5 minutes. I don't know what's been said. But the first thing I hear is, so when are you due? And I was like, oh, my God, you really didn't just do this. And luckily,
she was pregnant.
The woman said, in 2 months or in 9 weeks or whatever it was. And what I come to find out is that there had been a lead up to this. Like somebody had said something like, well, Gabrielle is, got a little boy on the way. And that freed my wife up to say, so when are you due? But all I heard was, so when are you due? And I got really nervous because I've been in those, I have like witnessed that. Have you ever witnessed a woman be asked if she's pregnant when she's not pregnant? Have you ever experienced that in person?
I feel like I have experienced that.
Oh, man, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Never assume.
Never. Never.
It's just a good rule to live by.
So we were at the Final Four, and I had seen one of my I'll just say coworkers who had been out on like paternity leave or maternity leave. Which one is it?
Maternity is for the mother, yes.
So
paternity is for the father.
So it would have been maternity. Did you ever take paternity?
Hell yeah, I took paternity.
I never did for any of my kids.
Well, for Noah,
somebody owes me something.
No, I did for both. Yeah, I did for both. Hey, you give it to me, I'm taking it.
I think that's most people's approach, but I never did.
Man, you should have.
Well, all of my kids were born in basketball season.
Oh, so yeah,
every one of them.
I ain't gonna fly.
Yeah,
sorry, buddy.
So there's a pattern. It appears I make babies in the off season.
Yeah, right.
And I have them during the season.
Yep.
That's my pattern.
Yep.
We didn't plan it that way.
I took that paternity. It was nice.
Okay.
Although I will say it sounds great in theory, and it is nice to bond with your child.
Oh yeah.
But it's harder than you would think.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you're.
There ain't nothing you could do.
Well, yeah, you can't do anything unless when they're taking a nap, and I don't know. Infants are tough.
They're
dude.
tough.
Infants are tough.
I don't. Yeah.
That stage is not for me.
It's not for me either. I tell people that all the time.
Like once they hit like 1, I'm good.
One of my favorite things is to talk to new fathers. Because I know I know what they're going through.
Yeah.
And you got like a 6-month-old or a 4-month-old.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so how's it going? And they always try to say the right. Oh,
oh
man, it's great.
Beautiful.
And
it's
I'm
amazing.
Like,
it's not.
And I put my arm around him. I say, come here.
Tell me the truth.
Come over here.
Uh-huh.
And I go, listen, I know it sucks.
Yeah, it's
all right?
it's not fun.
It's not fun. You can't talk to them.
They don't do anything.
They don't do anything.
No, they just poop.
They don't do anything. It's not fun.
Right.
Like the first year is not fun.
Yeah.
The second year is better. I think ages 3, 4, 5, amazing.
Those are great. Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
The
I even like toddler, like all that. Like, I'm good with all. It's the 0 to like 9 months.
It's just like I don't need that. Like
I'm
fast
good.
forward,
Yeah.
buddy. If it was an episode of Monday Night Raw, I'd hit fast forward to get to the good parts. To Liv Morgan. So, there was this coworker. We're at the Final Four or somewhere, and I hadn't seen this person in a while because they had been out on what you describe as maternity leave.
Yes.
All right. And I see this person, and it's the type of person that's not always in the studio, but they are a coworker. Here's my thing. I ain't seen them in a long time. All right. And I see them, and they look a little heavier than I remember.
Yeah.
But God, I ain't saying nothing.
Right.
And looks pregnant. I ain't saying nothing. All right. And we're talking for 15 minutes. And we're talking about everything. So, how's anything you could think of.
Yeah.
Anything. And then at some point, somebody else was like, oh, hey, I meant to tell you, congratulations on the pregnancy. And she was like, oh, thank you. And I was like, I put my hand on her and I said, we could have talked for 7 hours. I was never going to ask you if you're pregnant.
Right.
I wasn't trying to not be, forgive me for not acknowledging this amazing thing that you're pregnant, but understand I could not mention it because I did not know. And there is nothing worse. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've heard it with my own ears.
Yep.
I can even see it right now at like a social gathering party type thing. And there's this woman there, and, I could see why you would think she might be pregnant. I understand it. For the same reasons, like, I could see why you might think she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And somebody says, oh, congratulations, what do you do? And she had to look at this other person and say, I'm not pregnant.
Ouch.
And I was just like,
conversation killer.
I mean, buddy, you don't even know what to do. Like, you don't even know what to say after that.
Check, please.
You can't. It's really like a check, please moment. It's really like, all right, does anybody need anything at the bar type of thing? Yeah. I'm going to run outside and make a phone call. I got to go check my text messages. I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
It's tough. So we just did that to Lady Gaga. Poor girl.
I don't like it.
I don't like it either, But they do
with Gaga.
But they do make weight loss drugs now. So if she wants to get involved in one of those, maybe that's a way to. Maybe this will be a motivator for her.
I think she looks great.
I do too. I think she looks great. I don't like that we made Lady Gaga announce to the world that she's not pregnant. She's always having to announce things to the world.
Yeah,
like,
she
I'm
is.
I'm not marrying Bradley Cooper. I'm not pregnant. We sure do make Lady Gaga explain a lot, don't we?
Yeah.
I don't think we should. I don't think we're treating her right.
She got a new concert special out, I believe.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
I think it's out now. I think it just dropped.
I've attended a Lady Gaga concert.
Have you really?
In Las Vegas.
My wife went and saw her in St. Louis, I think.
But do you know who was sitting 20 feet that way?
Huh.
Bradley Cooper.
Just solo seeing Lady Gaga?
I mean, I assume he was there with a buddy or somebody, but yeah, he was there. He jumped on stage and played
Shallow.
In the shadow, rah, 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 rah. He played that with it. It's the first time the first and maybe the only time they've ever played that live together.
Yep.
I was there. I witnessed that.
Now he's just running a food truck.
She didn't look pregnant that night, I'll tell you that. And Bradley Cooper, he's got him a little Gigi Hadid.
Yeah, he's with Gigi. He runs a food truck now. That's what he does. That's like his thing.
What if Food Truck Friday comes back and
Bradley Cooper's chilling out there?
Would that be something?
That'd be awesome.
And then Lady Gaga shows up pregnant. She got the munchies. She wants something from the food truck.
I'd go to that food truck.
Man, yeah. Now I'm excited for Food Truck Friday again. Yeah. What if we get Bradley Cooper here?
Let's just somebody make a call.
Let's make a call.
All right.
Number 4.
Jontay Porter. You see this?
What's he doing?
All right. Well, he's banned from the NBA because he couldn't stop gambling.
Right.
So apparently, the way he got busted is the feds. They had their sights on this other fella.
Yeah.
And that's how they busted Jontay Porter.
Well, I mean, dude, So did you see the thing yesterday about how there's basically the report out there that he was down so bad that he was actively trying to throw games, right? And there is a clip making the rounds that is hilarious.
When he banks in the ball?
When he banks in a three, clearly trying to miss the shot, banks it in, and the look on his face is just uneasiness,
yes.
Right? Like you bank in a three in a game, whether you're trying to or not, and you're typically going to be like, like, okay, like you're
No,
gonna have some kind of reaction, and his face was like
you know what he
just
looks
seen
like?
a ghost.
Here's what he looks like. When you're in that situation, there's like 1.8 seconds left. Team is down 2. Guy's got 1 free throw left, and the coach says, all right, you got to miss it.
Right.
And it's like, all right, we got to miss this and try to grab the offensive rebound and then get it back in, right? That's the play. And you see him like throw it hard or like, and it goes in, and they go, oh.
Yeah.
That's what he looked like.
That's what he looks like.
Like, it went in, but I didn't want it to.
Uh-huh.
So that's the story. He got himself in like real debt.
Yep.
And the way to resolve this is to start throwing these prop bets.
Yeah.
And this is all old news at this point. It would be something like Jontay Porter over under rebounds 3.5, right? And these bets are only live bets if he enters the game. You got to play.
Yeah.
So he would enter the game, and then he'd be like, "Oh, my, hamstring's hurting. Got to get me out." So he would enter the game, and he'd come out, and it would be so they're betting unders on him.
Yeah.
And he would. That's why he was upset when he made a shot. Somebody was betting the under on his points, right? And reportedly, the people who were betting on these Jontay Porter rigged situations made like $1 million, like made real money on it. But the root of it is that he was in gambling debt, and this is exactly what they talk about, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the fear is rarely somebody is just going to decide they want to bet on basketball. It's that somebody gets into debt in other ways. Bad investments, betting on baseball, football, hockey, soccer, tennis, golf, anything. And then somebody says, hey, right now you owe me $2 million, all right? We can wipe it clean.
Yep.
But here's what I need from you. I need you. You're a bit player, a role player in the NBA anyway.
Yep.
You're never going to start and play 28 minutes or whatever. I need you to check into this game. You've had a injury thing anyway. Just on this night, I need you to check into this game, and then I need you to check out of that game. Okay? I don't need you to go out there and miss 50 shots. I don't need you to take 50 shots. I need you to get in the game and get out the game with a box score that has nothing in it. We do that a few times, we're good.
We're good, yep.
So what do? You go, God, I'm not playing that much anyway.
Nobody's going to notice. This will be easy.
This is how it happens.
Yep.
It never is as simple as, like, people, because I've done the same thing. You hear about the Jontay Porter story, you read all about it, and you go, man, what an idiot. How could you throw away your career? Well, I just told you how. That's exactly how. And you could say you wouldn't do that, and I'd say I wouldn't do that. But can't you understand how somebody ends up in that situation?
Absolutely.
Me too.
Especially when you're a fringe roster guy.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
This ain't the type of thing that's going to happen to Giannis,
No, he'll go get an endorsement deal, right? Yeah.
But you're a fringe NBA guy.
Yep.
You got in over your
You're
head.
hanging on, yep.
I mean, like, there are people people I know who from gambling get in over their heads. Like, I had a friend who, like, it got scary. Like, people were, like, reaching out to me, like, hey, have you talked to so-and-so? Like, man, I hear he's in a bad spot, right? So this happens to people in all walks of life. There is somebody watching us right now who has messed their life up gambling on sports, right? I don't mean just lost a lot of money, because some people can afford to lose a lot of money. It doesn't matter. They have a lot of money.
Yeah.
But there are other people who have messed their entire lives up gambling on sports. Now, most of those people, the overwhelming majority, they have no way to manipulate the outcome of a sporting event. But Jontay Porter did. Not necessarily manipulate the outcome of a game, but he can manipulate a prop bet on himself.
Yeah.
He has the power to do that. And it doesn't even have to be go out there and lose the game. You know what it has to be? Hey, on average, you're playing, let's just look at it. On average, you're playing 13.8 minutes per game, okay? When you get into the game tomorrow night, and, oh, by the way, you're already listed as probable with a hamstring injury, all right? That means that there's something there. Tomorrow night's game, get into the game, run up and down the court a few times, move the ball, and then feel something and come out of the game. I think I just tweaked something. Just do that 3 or 4 times and we're good. That is how it happens.
Yep.
And I can see how, as stupid as it sounds, I can see how somebody like Jontay Porter finds himself in that situation. So the latest development is that the guy he was conspiring with got busted yesterday at JFK in New York.
Man,
one-way ticket to Australia, had $12,000 cash.
He was close.
And 2 checks totaling $80,000. He was on his way out of here.
Oh, so he had some additional. I was gonna say 12,000. Like
that ain't gonna get you very far.
No, not go to Australia and try to start a new life.
Yeah.
I think you need a little more than that.
He had another 80. You know,
he had another 80.
I don't know how it works exactly, but they caught him. So maybe there's a lesson in there for Diddy. You know, fleeing the country. Once they got their eyes on you,
doesn't necessarily work.
It's hard to get out of here, buddy. You gotta. Here's the thing I've learned about fleeing the country. You need to try to do it before they're on to you.
Yeah,
that's the key.
Yeah,
can't wait till they're on to you.
That's right.
I don't think these country fleers. I don't think they think far enough ahead.
I don't think so either.
They're not thinking far enough ahead.
If I was, honestly, fleeing to Australia doesn't sound that bad. Yeah. I've never gone to Australia. I'd like to go to Australia.
Looks beautiful, doesn't it?
It looks cool. Yeah, rugged.
It's just so far away.
Yeah, I think I could get down with that.
Like I kind of like the
idea of Australia.
The reason most people don't go to Australia is because it's just so far. But what if you actually like being on a plane?
Yeah,
I could have fun.
I could have a good time.
I might go to Australia someday, not to flee.
I'd like to go to Australia.
Not to flee, but just to experience it. Not to flee. I don't plan on having to flee. Would Australia send you back?
I don't know, man. I feel like Australia is like. I feel like it's one of those kind of westernized countries that, but doesn't necessarily just live by the same principles as like in America. Like they're doing their own thing over there. You know what I mean? I don't know how much they like. What's our partnership with Australia?
I can't speak to
you
it.
know?
Bennett. What do I look like?
I feel like they're doing their own thing over there.
Do I look like a kangaroo? Do I look like a kangaroo to you?
I don't feel like there's like some kind of connection where the U.S. is just like, hey, buddy, can you send this criminal back to us? I think it's more of like, they're doing their own thing over there. You can get away there.
Hey, but the problem.
did you see Furiosa? For God's sakes.
The problem is trying to get there. And this fella here, he couldn't get there, so he's in custody now, and he'll now he'll have to pay for his crimes, his alleged crimes. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
I'll give him the benefit.
Innocent
of the doubt.
until proven guilty.
Yeah,
even if you're a illegal gambler, innocent until proven guilty. But I bet this fella's going down. Got to flee before they're on to you.
Yeah,
that's the lesson here. Diddy should have learned that years ago.
Number 5.
More injuries in sports. Novak Djokovic.
Saw this.
Going to have surgery.
Yeah. That's
withdrew from
tough.
the French Open. And Wimbledon is now in doubt. He's got a meniscus tear in his right knee. Suffered it in the 4th round match against, another fella.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's hurt in sports.
Yeah,
we can't keep our athletes healthy anymore.
These knees, man.
Why do you think we can't keep our athletes healthy anymore?
I mean, I think that they're just exerting more energy than they ever have before.
That's the GOAT.
He is. Is he the GOAT?
I think he's the GOAT. That's what people tell me.
Is he the GOAT?
People say that.
I think he might be the GOAT.
That's what people tell me.
He passed Federer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the GOAT. I think the GOAT just had to withdraw.
And how old is he? He's up there.
He's up there.
Yeah.
You don't get these back, Bennett.
Right.
You only get 4 opportunities a year
and
to try to add these grand slams, and he just had to withdraw from this one, and he probably won't play in the next one.
I always get thrown off on the tennis calendar too. Wasn't it because he's going to miss Wimbledon, right?
Yes.
And wasn't
I hope to God you're not about to ask me a question about the tennis calendar.
Well, I know you might know this one. What was the big event where the up and coming guy Alcaraz dethroned him? Was that Wimbledon? I think it was Wimbledon.
Might have been Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's because you probably have a chance for a rematch there.
Yeah. Well,
I think it was Wimbledon. I can't even pretend to know.
Hey, do we look like kangaroos? Do we look like
No.
You kind of do look like a kangaroo.
I like kangaroos.
I do too.
My favorite, when we were talking about Australia, my favorite animal is a koala bear.
Why? Is that your favorite animal?
I don't know. I just like them. They sit up in the trees and eat the eucalyptus and just are like stoned all day.
You think koala bears are stoned?
No, I know they are.
They're high.
Yeah.
How are they high?
Because I think the eucalyptus makes.
They got a medical marijuana card?
That's like their medical marijuana.
How about that?
Yeah. I'm almost positive.
Koala bears are high all the time.
Hold on.
That's what you're telling me.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that's true. How do you spell koala?
I don't have any idea. I think it's K.
Koala.
I think it starts with a K.
I should know this about my favorite.
I think it's a KOA.
Are koala bears.
KOA? Koala?
Are koala bears stoned?
They are cute little things. Kyra, see if you can get me a picture.
I don't know if it's true.
Kyra, see if you can get me a picture of a koala bear. They are cute little things.
I think it's a myth. You think it's a myth? Yeah, it says the stoned koala myth may be amusing, but it's not true that koalas are stoned or high on eucalyptus leaves. Koalas sleep for so long because their diet isn't very nutritious.
Yeah, you got koala bears confused with Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson is high all the time, not koala bears. You're confusing.
Man, that's a huge buzzkill right there. No pun intended.
Look at that little fella. Look at him. Aren't they cute?
I love them.
Aren't they cute?
Yeah, you know you can have them as pets in Australia.
I would.
I would totally have a pet koala bear.
Would you get high with your own koala bear?
I mean, I don't know if humans can consume eucalyptus, and apparently it doesn't really do anything.
Sure, we can consume eucalyptus. Why couldn't we? We consume everything else. You're going to tell me we can consume Arby's, but we can't consume eucalyptus?
Maybe we can.
I mean, buddy, we consume horsey sauce.
Dude, I've been going around telling people koala bears were getting high all day for years, and it's not true. Wow.
That's Snoop Dogg. You're thinking of Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
You're confusing koala bears with Snoop Dogg.
Wow.
People do that sometimes, though. You're not the first.
Yeah, I would love a pet koala. And you know what stinks is we don't have them at our zoo.
Why not?
I don't know. That's like a big oversight. We've got one of the great zoos in the country. We don't have koala bears.
We had them other bears though.
The pandas, China took them back. That was not unique to us. China took all of the pandas back. I don't know if you can go see a panda in the States anymore.
That's tough.
Yeah,
that's tough.
We got our China. You know what?
Why China get so stingy?
I don't know what happened there. I know that most of the pandas around the country were like on loan from China, and they took them back. Just swooped in, took them back.
I feel like we should be able to protect pandas from China.
I think they're protecting them. I think they like pandas over there.
I know, but I feel like we should be able to just say, you know what? We're not giving you them back.
Yeah, come get them.
Come get them.
Come and get them. Over my dead body.
Over my dead body.
Like, what are they gonna do? Dude, the zoo should have called me, one of their greatest members. I would have stood in front of that China exhibit and said, Come on,
China.
Let's go.
I feel like we agreed to that a little too quickly.
I think we did too. Somebody should have been like, yo, no, we're not doing it.
Have you ever let somebody borrow something and then it's just like they won't give it back?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I guess it's just not mine anymore because like, what am I going to do about it? They won't give it back. So what am I going to do?
Apparently they're coming back to some parts to DC. So they're coming back to the DC zoo, but our pandas are gone.
That's tough.
Yeah. What I was going to say is we got that big China exhibit just sitting there. Right. All that's really in there right now is like ducks. And you get,
are they Chinese ducks?
I can't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We could turn that into.
What if our big exhibit was Chinese ducks?
We could turn that into an Australian exhibit. Get some koala bears, get some kangaroos, some wallabies,
Maybe Steven Adams, throw him in there.
Yeah, well, he's New Zealand.
I know, but it's like it's close to the same thing. You know that.
No. They don't like that. They don't like the comp.
I apologize.
Yeah.
They're in similar parts of the world. Is that okay? Yes, is that okay? That's what I meant. I meant no offense to Australia or New Zealand. I just meant that. You know, if you go to one, you could probably go to the other pretty quickly.
I think so.
They're like,
something.
You know, it's like Tennessee ain't Mississippi, but they're close to each other.
Right.
That's what I meant.
That's similar.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
We got an exhibit at the zoo now with some Chinese ducks.
Yeah.
That's wild.
What else is over there?
Man, we almost lost Graceland and we lost our pandas.
We did lose our pandas. Yes, we did.
We've been going through it as a city.
Lily and Yaya, I think was their names.
Oh, well, man, I seen them. You know what? They weren't ever doing that much, though, if we're being honest. Every time I saw them, they just looked
chilling.
They looked lazy.
Some bamboo.
They looked lazy.
They were just chilling.
A little heavy, like Lady Gaga.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
They were just chilling. I liked those pandas.
Yeah, I liked them too, but you know.
I'm just not even going to say anything else.
What?
Nothing. The chat's just talking about our pandas. I liked those pandas, okay?
I thought they looked lazy.
They were lazy.
They didn't do much.
No, they didn't do too much.
It looked a little bit like, Lady Gaga at her sister's wedding.
I hope they're full and happy in China right now.
You never know. They could be in a concentration camp
No,
over there.
they're not.
You ever
they
read?
love the pandas in China.
I know, but they don't love everybody in China. I don't know how much you read about China, but they don't treat everybody well over there.
China.
I hope they treat pandas better than they treat some other folks.
Okay. I like China.
Anyway, Novak Djokovic is out of.
Yeah, how the hell? What in the world?
Anyway,
maybe he could come make an appearance at the zoo.
Put him
in there. He ain't doing nothing now. He's out.
Put him over there.
Yeah, come get Novak. Let's sign some autographs in the zoo.
Get him some crutches and put him in there with them Chinese ducks. All right, I think that's enough.
That's enough.
We'll be back with GP's carryout.
Mike did his favorite black films of all time. Mike, where we at?
If there's one movie I know every single line to, it is Coming to America.
There we go.
It is Coming to America. It can come on any time of any day, and I'm going to stop and watch at least 20 minutes of it.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
I think we have the college basketball title futures. UConn's number one.
I really like Houston. I'd have them winning it all, but you can't be giving Drake jerseys. What is wrong with you?
Maybe the Drake curse is stronger in college basketball.
How long has he been riding with Kentucky?
He wore an Alabama jersey and Saban retired.
The Odds Couple with Rob Fisher, Lang Whitaker, John Roser, and CJ Hurt live Thursdays at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy.
Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Parrish Show presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Built Ford Tough studio on a cloudy day and another gloomy day, Bennett.
How about that?
We can't just get a nice sunshiny day. It's gloomy for another day.
Dude, I don't care. It's about to be hot as hell for like 5 months.
It's about to be hot as hell for like 5 months.
Yeah.
Have we hit the like, man, it's really hot outside yet stage? Have we done that yet?
No, I mean, it's not summer yet.
It's not summer yet.
Yeah, so it's coming.
It's coming though.
Yeah.
Oh, it'll be here before you know it.
Get ready.
Get ready. But it's not here now. It's still gloomy, so it's a good nap day if you got the time for it. I might try to make the time for it.
Okay.
Let's wrap this up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
A whole bunch of stuff. But the most important thing, big news of the day, out of the NBA. One day before the NBA Finals are scheduled to get started, there are reports that Los Angeles Lakers are zeroing in on JJ Reddick, podcaster, to be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. There's hopes for all of us, Bennett.
I think there is.
You know, don't ever, rule anything out just because you're a podcaster, because you could be the next head coach of an NBA franchise.
I don't even want to be the head coach. Can I just get on a staff?
Get on staff. You don't even need to be on the
Coach
front.
Jenkins.
Yeah.
Come holler at me.
Yeah, there's been some,
If JJ Reddick can do it.
Rumored staff shakeups, you know?
Yep.
You know? If JJ Reddick can do it, I don't know why you wouldn't want Bennett. I mean, he's like negative 18 units.
It's a podcaster's world, man.
It's a podcasters are taking over.
Yep.
You know? Once upon a time, we were all just down there in our parents' basements.
Yep.
Now look at us. We're coaching the Lakers.
Yeah. No, I think that every NBA team needs a podcaster as part of their roster.
If the Grizzlies ever need the next head coach, and I hope they don't.
Right.
I hope they don't. But if they ever needed another head coach, what podcaster would you want them to interview? I think Alex Cooper.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind having
that would work.
I wouldn't mind having Alex Cooper walking around the building.
I think that would work.
You know?
Yeah.
She could have some HR problems, though.
She does say wild things.
She says some wild stuff.
Yeah, she says wild stuff.
I don't know if Alex Cooper would last 6 months over here with HR.
Probably, although we've lasted quite some time.
Can you believe it?
No.
Me neither.
I ain't even gotten a talking to.
I ain't even got a talking to you. I mean, I've had a couple talking to.
Have you?
Nothing aggressive.
Yeah.
Just little talking to.
I got you.
Like, hey, maybe before you send a video in, make sure it doesn't have the F word in it.
Right.
You know, stuff like that.
Well.
Obvious things like that, you know. Constructive criticism. Like, hey, before you play a video, make sure they don't say the F word.
Yeah, or someone doesn't die in the video, that kind of thing.
Yeah, make sure, you don't show a death on the video, right? I accept that.
Yeah.
I accept that criticism. That's solid. That's a solid point to make. I accept that.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe Theo Vaughn could be an NBA coach someday. He's got a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
David Spade's got a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Dana Carvey.
Yeah, that's right.
What if Dana Carvey becomes the next head coach of, like, the Minnesota Timberwolves?
It'd be interesting.
Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
I just think, sometimes it just could be inspiring for all of us. Sometimes you get stuck in your ways and you're like, man, I guess this is as good as it ever gets. Right. But you don't ever think that way. You could go straight from this to being the head coach of an NBA franchise.
Yep.
Good for JJ Reddick, man.
Good for him.
Good for us.
What's today's biggest game?
I'm taking you back to the WNBA, Bennett.
What's going on in the W?
Well, the Las Vegas Aces. They're down there in Arlington, Texas at the college.
That's everybody's favorite team.
The Las Vegas Aces?
Everybody loves them.
Why does everybody love them? Because they're the champions?
Yeah. Like a little bandwagon.
Little bandwagon jump.
Yeah.
Like there's this one fella always raising hell with me on Twitter.
What's going on?
He just really doesn't enjoy my work. You know? So at some point I was just like, who is this person? Like they just keep tweeting me and who is this?
Yeah.
Why do they? How is their whole life built around hating me?
Right.
A weird life to live.
Right.
So I click on it and it's like Yankees fan, Duke basketball fan. He's that guy.
Dallas Cowboys. Right. Yeah.
He's that guy.
Lakers.
Right.
Yeah.
He's probably an Aces fan.
Yeah. Right.
He's probably also an Aces fan. So we got the Aces. They're down there at the College Park Center in Arlington, Texas. They're playing the Wings. The Aces are only off to a 4-2 start.
It's the Commissioner's Cup.
It's the Commissioner's Cup.
Yep.
How have the Aces only played 6 games and
Caitlin Clark's played 30?
Caitlin Clark has played Caitlin Clark's season's almost over.
Right.
She's played twice as many games as these other people.
I don't know.
Why do they? Man, the WNBA is wild.
Yeah.
They got Caitlin Clark and they said, all right, now let's work her overtime.
Right.
First month of the season, let's work her overtime. They ran this poor woman straight into the ground.
Yeah, they did.
The Aces barely play. They're 4-2. Caitlin Clark's played 70 games already this season.
Yeah.
Aces and Wings. Aces are 8.5-point favorites on the road. That's a big number on the road, Bennett. Your total's 168.5. How you gonna act? You want your record? It's now 118, 123, and 4. You're now You're now down 18.2 units.
I've not been good on these WNBA predictions. They did. I saw the video that they forgot their rookie on the bus last night.
Well,
she was like chasing the bus down. Kate Martin trying to get to the team bus. So
it happens.
I don't know if that's a good or bad sign. Dallas sucks. They're like the only team in Dallas that isn't very good. Is their WNBA team?
They're 3-4.
Yeah,
that's the Dallas Wings.
We'll go Aces.
You want to lay 8.5 on the road?
Well, they're the best team. At least they're the reigning champs.
Bennett, I don't mean to make you second guess yourself.
No.
If you want to ride with the Aces, dumber decisions have been made.
I can't pretend to know. I don't know anything about Dallas.
I know everything about Dallas.
What's going on in Dallas?
They're 3-4. They stink.
The best I can tell, they're like the only team in the league that doesn't have a star.
I can't speak.
Who's
the
star for the Dallas? I wanted to call them the Dallas Stars.
It's none of my business. It's none of my business, Bennett. It's none of my business.
I'm gonna say Aces big.
Aces big.
Yeah.
All right. Bennett says lay the 8.5 with the Aces tonight.
I don't know.
We got a 7 o'clock tip. You can watch it. It's going to be on NBA TV.
What are we watching on TV?
Can I interest you in Jimmy Kimmel Live?
Sure. What's going on with Jimmy?
Oh, lead guest, the legend, Larry David.
Oh, what's Larry promoting?
I don't know.
Curb's over.
Curb's over. 76 years old and Curb's over. What do you think you do at 76 when Curb's over?
I think he just
play golf.
Yeah. What he was doing on Curb, probably that's what he's doing in real life.
He probably just plays golf every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think that's fun? It sounds fun, but I wonder if you actually get to doing it. Like, you know what sounds awesome to me? Waking up every day, having a nice breakfast, going playing golf, then coming home and getting on with your day.
Yeah.
Like that sounds like, man, that'd be a nice way to spend your days.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you get tired of it? I bet you get tired of it.
I bet you get tired of it.
I bet you get tired of everything.
Yeah.
I bet you.
You need some purpose.
You need some purpose, right? You need to go do something every day. You got to have something to do, right? What do you think Larry David's doing? Probably just playing golf.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
Just chilling.
Yeah, just chilling. Anyway, maybe Jimmy Kimmel will ask him that tonight.
Yeah,
Why
are you here?
If I were talking to Larry David tonight, you know what I would ask him? I would say, "What are you up to these days?" That's how I'd probably start. So Curb's over. What are you up to these days? He'd probably say playing golf.
Did you watch that the Netflix show we talked about yesterday with Benedict Cumberbatch?
I turned it on.
Yeah.
And then I got I had something happen and I had to go do something else. But I did turn it on.
See, I forgot yesterday was the premiere of the new Star Wars series, The Acolyte. So that's what I watched last night. I didn't get a chance to watch the Netflix thing. So
how much Star Wars stuff is out there?
Too much.
It's like I don't even know what's happening.
Disney made a big mistake when they purchased Star Wars years ago of oversaturating the market with Star Wars content. Like and this is coming from someone that's a diehard Star Wars fan my whole life.
Right.
It's too much.
It's too much.
It's too much. They should have taken a break. They just were pushing out TV shows, pushing out movies. I feel like with that, less is more. Less is more with Star Wars. It's all about the lore, the mystery, you're craving more.
Yeah, but you're not craving more.
No, I'm saying slow it down a little bit.
You're saying slow it down?
Yeah.
Right. So, well, thank God Larry David's not involved in that.
Right.
You know? He'll be on Jimmy Kimmel tonight. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the best thing we've read?
Well, over at CBSSports.com with the finals on tap, got a ranking of the best players in the NBA Finals. Let's see how much you can get right. Let's see the first player you miss in order. Number 1.
Okay, wait, what is this again?
Best players in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, okay.
Number 1.
Luka.
Of course. Number 2.
I'll say Tatum.
Number 3.
Kyrie.
Number 4.
Jaylen Brown.
Number 5.
Number 5, I'm gonna say.
This is where the debate starts.
I'll say I'll say Derek White.
Derek White is number 6.
Is number 5 Porzingis?
Porzingis is number 5.
That's kind of weird though, because he hasn't played in a while.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 7, Drew Holiday.
Yep.
Number 8, PJ Washington.
Yeah. Okay. That's how I would have said.
He's been a big-time player in the series.
Yeah, he's been really good.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting, like, when a guy is just sort of like, he's just in one place, and it's just like nothing's happening, and they don't even think he's worth nothing, and then he just goes somewhere else, and now he's making big shots in the postseason, and now he's a top 8 player in the NBA Finals, according to CBSSports.com. Congrats to P.J. Washington.
Yeah.
Got a baby with Brittany Renner. And
yeah, he does.
Yeah, so, like, I don't know whether that's good or bad, but I bet it was fun.
It was probably fun.
I bet it was fun. I don't know whether it's good or bad, but I bet it was fun. You know? So things are going okay for P.J. Washington.
Yeah.
Happy for him.
Okay.
All right. You can read that at CBSSports.com.
What's on tap for tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's Thursday. Game 1 NBA Finals is set for tomorrow night.
Oh, let's go.
You fired up in it?
I'm fired up. I'm ready for this.
Mavericks and Celtics. Live from Boston. Kyrie back in TD Garden.
It's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it already. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to enjoy mine. We're going to meet back here tomorrow at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.